UFC 309 just happened. I'm going to give you my take right now on the main card. Was this actually UFC 309 or was it a MAGA event? I'm not too sure. Trump came out with literally the whole Republican Party. You had Elon Musk, you have Vivek, you had RFK Jr. When Trump came out, it was like 5 to 7 minutes where he was just going around talking to people. I think people in the crowd were like, okay, come on now. But I can understand it. Dana White literally is a massive Republican. Donald Trump just became president. They've got pretty much a load of the Republican Party there. They're going to give time to Trump. So I guess if you're not a fan of politics, you're probably thinking, what is this? But if you're a fan of Trump, you're probably not going to care. One observation that I did see was about Elon Musk. He is straight up AI. There's no question about it. The guy is literally a computer. The way he moves, the way he just interacts, the way he just looks. An example would be the camera's there and everyone's looking across and then Elon Musk just goes, come on. He just seemed really stiff. I don't know. He definitely seemed like a robot. I know full well that Democrat Twitter is going to say, why isn't Trump working? Why are the Republicans there? Because apparently politicians just can't have any free time whatsoever. But you know that's going to happen. Getting off to the fights. We have here Mauricio Ruffy versus James Llontop. I should really put respect on this guy's name because when he first came out, I generally thought this would be the type of guy that I would see at a pub. That would be like, you know, I'm in the UFC. I go, yeah, sure, yeah, so am I. He didn't look conditioned. He did miss weight. He did come in late notice to this fight. But I was wrong with him. The guy has a lot of heart and a fucking meathead. This showed Ruffy, up-and-coming fighter, what it's like to go 3 rounds. It is good for fighters to go 3 rounds in their fights, especially at the beginning of their career in the UFC, just to see what they can do and have that experience while going further ahead so they know they're capable of going 3 rounds. Because the next fight, Ruffy was really good at punching and kicking, but he was a massive showboat. There were times where I thought, is he going to get clipped? Is he going to go, ooh, I'm going to do an Anderson Silva and just break his whole leg or just get absolutely knocked out? And you think, well, that's unfortunate. But he dominated the fight completely. Worthy win. Was it anything spectacular? But he did do some good punches. Now the next fight cost me £70. Viviane Araujo versus Silva. As I said before, it's important for a fighter to go 3 rounds to show they can go 3 rounds. Silva cannot go 3 rounds. This is the first time I've ever seen this where a fighter does this. And it just so happens it's the fighter I put a bloody bet on. In the first round, it looked like an easy fight for Silva. I was like, this is easy money. Hey, I'm using money. I'm going to make betting account. Everybody follow me. And then I realized, wow, betting sucks because you just cost me £70. In the second round, she started to fade away. And then the third round, it really should have been 30-28 from what she did. She just sat on the floor and just laid on her back, wanting the fighter to come to her, wanting Araujo to come to her because she was too tired to fight on. As a professional fighter, you should never be doing that. And I'll be very surprised if Dana White doesn't send her straight to Bellator. The next fight is Bo Nickal versus Paul Craig, the Scottish man. Now, this fight wasn't super interesting. It was essentially 2 ground fighters that didn't want to go to the ground because Paul Craig, he has his jiu-jitsu, Bo Nickal has his wrestling, so they didn't want to go to the ground just to be caught, so they did stand up instead, which was okay. Bo Nickal looking for that overhand, which he landed quite a few times. He's knocked someone out with it before, but that was about it. And all I could remember was McGregor versus Mendes, and McGregor going, he's just a wrestler with an overhand. That's what Bo Nickal is essentially, a wrestler with an overhand, a bigger Chad Mendes. And when you have 2 ground fighters that are trying to fight on their feet, their stand-up is almost as bad as Joe Rogan's Netflix special. And Paul Craig was very vocal towards Bo Nickal, saying he's all calm in his corner, he's okay and all this, and the commentators saying, oh, Paul Craig's really calm and we haven't seen him fight like this for a long time. He shouldn't really fight that for a long time because he just got 30-27 by Bo Nickal. But where the crowd didn't see a takedown or Paul Craig get knocked out, they actually started chanting in the 3rd round, overrated to Bo Nickal. They also were booing Bo Nickal. See, that shows the temperament of UFC fans. One day you're this absolute amazing idol, the next day you have a little bit of a boring fight and you're the worst person ever. It's a tough gig. The next fight is Charles Oliveria versus Michael Chandler. Essentially, Charles Oliveria dominated Michael Chandler. It was pretty much just ground game. Michael Chandler did amazing to not get submitted. He did cheat at one point, grabbing the fence. Also, Oliveria said that Michael Chandler was grabbing his gloves to get out. However, Michael Chandler did really well to not be submitted. But the whole highlight of the fight was Michael Chandler standing up in the 5th round with about 15 to 20 seconds left, going to the middle of the octagon with Charles Oliveira on his back. 5 rounds, remember, and just jumping backwards with Charles Oliveira. He gets back up, does it again. It was the most American thing ever, and this is what makes Michael Chandler so good, because he will go out on his sword and shield and he'll do crazy stuff like this. He also knows it's going to be a TikTok edit, so it's going to be some motivational speech with Michael Chandler throwing everyone off his back. Oliveira won that, but Chandler did call out 2 people. He called out Max Holloway, which I think is a better fight for the BMF title, and I think it's better for the UFC, and also Conor McGregor. McGregor isn't going to be ready till mid to late next year. It's just what it looks like. Holloway versus Chandler for the BMF. Whoever wins gets McGregor. It's a money fight for Chandler if he beats Holloway, which he can very well do. Especially Holloway come off a knockout. We know how knockouts change fighters. This might have worked out better for Chandler to get way more money. Oliveira, Holloway, McGregor for the BMF title. And then he retires happy. Now, the next fight was Jon Jones versus Stipe. I just made a video about Jon Jones and why I don't think he's a GOAT, but I will say he is a bloody amazing fighter. Even with PEDs or without PEDs, you have to be exceptional to be as good as Jon Jones in the octagon. The first round, he did a leg sweep that was just insane. It took Stipe completely out, and he was able to get on the ground and land some nasty elbows. But while they're on the ground, I was thinking, is jiu-jitsu a thing for heavyweights? Because I just don't understand how anyone could be agile to do anything while a heavyweight. And it does seem like Derek Lewis has the right idea to just stand up. I just don't see how jiu-jitsu works at heavyweight. I'm going to be real. Second round was steady. Wasn't much happening as such in that round compared to the first and third round, but Jon Jones won that round anyway. We go into the third round. Jones catches Stipe with a nice jab and then an overhand to rock Stipe, which then leads to an amazing spinning back kick straight into the ribs of Stipe. Just imagine Sniper Elite when it zooms in when you snipe someone. His ribs must have been completely cracked because he goes down straight away, and that's the end of the fight. A bloody amazing UFC 5 simulator knockout there. He then ends up doing the Trump dance too. And then Jones actually calls out, finally, Jesus Christ. No, he actually doesn't call out Jesus Christ, but he actually praises God and then pays respect to Jesus. Hopefully Jon Jones doesn't do any more crimes outside the octagon now. Jon Jones hints at calling out Aspinall. He says something along the lines, I've got to negotiate my contract with Dana and Hunter, and then we'll see if we can give the fans what they want. In Jon Jones's eyes, it'd probably be Alex Pereira for the BMF title, which is not going to happen. But in our eyes, we're hoping it's Tom Aspinall. However, Jon Jones doesn't even name anyone at all. Doesn't name Aspinall, doesn't name Pereira, kind of leaves it out in the open. Does that mean Francis Ngannou? Ooh. Fair play to Jon Jones because he's absolutely base. He says he's a proud Christian champion. We don't see that much. Go on Jon Jones for that. And then sadly, Stipe retires. There's no big speech. He kind of just mumbles and then just walks out. I think it was the most Stipe thing in the world. But I also saw Stipe was really agitated, it seemed. I think maybe he thought the UFC did him dirty. You know, I'm meant to be this most feared heavyweight champion ever to exist, and everything was just about Jon Jones. He also said like something along the lines like, thank God that he's retiring, that he no longer has to do this. Maybe he's just fallen out of the love of the sport. Who knows? Whereas some pictures, here's Jon Jones with Trump. You also got Elon Musk there. Dana White's bald head. There's another view of it. There's Elon Musk looking completely like an AI. Trump's gone, hold on here. This is my title now. See, Trump always has to win everything, so he's taking the title off Jon Jones. And Jon Jones is trying to say, can I have it back, please? And then Trump's telling him he has to put tariffs on his heavyweight belt. I'm joking, Jon Jones gave it to him. Here's Jon doing a little Donald Trump dance. I did say he'll do a TikTok dance. That's pretty much a TikTok dance, no? And there's the final picture of Elon Musk. You got RFK Jr. there. Donald Trump. I forgot that woman's name. Something Tabit or something like that. You got Vivek. I don't know who these other guys are. But yeah. The AI. The president. Mr. Voice. I've got nothing for no one else. But it was a really good card overall. To be honest with you, after that performance, I'm actually worried for Tom Aspinall. Because that performance was bloody insane by Jon Jones. And it seems like he could go for another 2-3 years quite comfortably. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. We'll see if it's going to be announced at all. But what a good card. Let me know down below what you think of the card. Did you lose your money on that bloody Brazilian woman? That lovely Brazilian woman that decided to have a little nap in the bloody octagon. But let me know down below.